There are different approaches when it comes to musical arrangements. First, there is the linear arrangement. A linear arrangement teaches us to think about each section of the song as a predetermined, immovable link in a chain. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, end. With this approach, you plan beforehand every aspect of your performance, dictating even the number of times you'll play through a section and the level of dynamics you'll employ in each moment. And with a linear arrangement, you start at point A and follow the arrangement without deviation, hesitation, or repetition to point B. It's the same every time, and it's probably been heavily influenced by a performance of the song that we heard on a recording by someone else. This approach is common in performance music, whether classical, pop, or rock music. The song is played the same way each time the climax happens in the same place, each time there's a dramatic stop after the bridge or the drums drop out under the first chorus. It's predictable and safe, and everyone knows where they're going. There will be no surprises. Beginner musicians will be comfortable. But while there is nothing wrong with this for performance, it is crucial that we remember that worship music is not about performance. Worship is about experience, an interaction, or a conversation even. And as with any conversation, we can only prepare for what we will say. Meanwhile, the Spirit will say and do whatever the Spirit wills. And so our arrangements need to be flexible enough that we are prepared for anything and everything that the Spirit may say or do. With a linear arrangement, there is no wriggle room, no space for the song to spontaneously go in a different direction. That is why, as worship teams, we need modular, not linear, arrangements. A modular arrangement is far more flexible. A modular arrangement makes us think about each section of the song not as links in a chain, but as interchangeable modules, able to be rearranged at any time. Maybe I start in the verse today. Maybe I start in the chorus. Am I going to sing the chorus once, twice, 3 times? Maybe I'll just see how it feels when I get there. This is a much more useful way of thinking, particularly if you want to deliver worship that makes room for the Spirit to lead. With a modular arrangement, you break the song down into the sum of its parts: a verse, a chorus, a bridge. Maybe there's an intro or linking riff. Once it's broken down, you practice each element separately. You practice the chorus with different levels of intensity. You practice the verse with different levels of intensity. And I'll speak about the 5 levels of intensity in another video. But essentially, we're not just looking at changes in volume. We're also looking at other things, like changes of complexity, different strumming patterns, different chord voicings. Once you have practiced each section separately, you can pull the whole thing together by following the leader. You may have a rough idea of how it will flow, but be open to it going differently. Throw in an extra chorus or repeat a verse. Train the band to be nimble and able to twist and turn as the song develops. Naturally, this takes a little more time and certainly more skill than a simple linear arrangement. However, the benefits far outweigh the work involved. Linear arrangements hold you hostage to what you planned beforehand. Modular arrangements free you to flow wherever you feel the Spirit is leading you at that moment. With just a simple vocal cue, you could be ready to go anywhere in the song, or even to another song. Now, I mentioned vocal cues just now, and once you start using modular arrangements, you will need to lead the band using cues of some kind. Vocal cues are simply you using your voice as the leader to signal where you're going next. It's best you don't just shout out, chorus, but it would work perfectly well maybe to sing the first phrase of the chorus as an indication that that's where you're headed next. Some people prefer to use visual cues, but the downside of this is you can end up looking like you're dancing the funky chicken while trying to find a different move to signal each element of the song. Also, visual cues rely on you having eye contact with the whole band at the crucial moments of transition, which is just unrealistic given that it's at those moments when even the most experienced musician is most likely to be looking at their music. And of course, visual cues only help lead the band through the song that you're in. What if you want to switch to another song? But the biggest reason why I feel vocal cues beat visual cues every single time is that they include the congregation. Remember, worship is not a performance. So while we don't want going to the chorus to be a surprise for the bass player, we also have no reason to keep it a secret from the congregation or the guy on AV. Visual cues tell the band what's going on first, and then the congregation catches up 1 or 2 steps behind. With vocal cues, everyone, including the congregation and the guy on AV, find out what's happening at the same time, making our worship less of a show and more of an inclusive worship experience. So, in conclusion, we want to prepare the songs we use in a way that creates room for flexibility and for the Spirit to move. Don't just rehearse the song from start to finish, expecting it to turn out the same every time you play it. Anticipate the need for variations in the arrangement and prepare for these by using modular, not linear, arrangements.